Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are really excited and grateful to everyone who is standing here today and to the folks who have come here to help us get the word out about this very important message we're pushing out today. My name is Sean Maher. I am the Citywide Communications Director at the City of Oakland. We'll have a series of speakers we'll introduce one at a time. When we're done, we'll ask reporters to raise their hand with questions. We'll take them one at a time, and then we'll break. We'll start with Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sean, and good morning. I want to thank the press for being here. It's so important that you are here to inform our residents of what we're doing in terms of Oakland continuing to stay on the move. And I want to thank Councilmember Fife and all of our partners here for coming together to make sure that we talk about and provide the information about our volunteer hubs. This doesn't happen without leaders like all of you, and I want to thank all of our volunteers who are and will support this effort. Now, on January 22nd, Oakland and Alameda County will conduct what we call the Point in Time Count, which is a census that's required by HUD every 2 years to understand who is experiencing homelessness in our city. And so we're asking 500 volunteers to help carry out this count. That's not a small ask, but homelessness, as you know, is not a small problem. To achieve real solutions, we need data, real data. The data from this count helps determine how much funding Oakland receives from federal, state, and county sources. An undercount means fewer resources for shelters, for outreach, for housing, transitional housing, and of course, we cannot afford that. This count is part of a larger commitment. Since taking office, addressing our unsheltered population and homelessness has been a top priority for myself, like it is for all of our partners and Councilmember Fife. Last August, we launched the Office of Homelessness Solutions and a 5-point plan focused on prevention, outreach, rapid rehousing, shelter, and permanent housing. Equity is at the center of this work. Black Oaklanders make up over 50% of our unhoused population, and we're focused on ensuring that resources reach all of our communities and all of our people, all of our neighbors, all of our unsheltered population. All of this work is guided by data, and the point-in-time contact is a really big part of that data. So if you want to help, I'm speaking directly to residents, please sign up. If you're a business, encourage employees to volunteer. If you're part of a community organization, mobilize your members. Go to the Alameda County Point in Time website and select Oakland. Shifts run from 5 a.m. to noon. You will receive training and support. Homelessness affects all of us. Solving it will also take all of us. And so thank you again very much. Sean?
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor, for your leadership and support. We're grateful to have with us today the council member from District 3, Carol Fife. She is also the chair of the Life Enrichment Committee, and we'll bring her up now.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you to everyone who's here today, particularly our team that works in the homelessness sphere every single day in the city of Oakland. And my district is one of the districts in the city that's hit the hardest with homelessness, and I see it every single day. But not only do I see it, I lived it. When my youngest child was a toddler, she was really young, our landlord moved back from Texas. She was a professor and retired, and immediately gave us a 2-week notice to move out. And at the time in my career, I didn't have enough saved up for first, last, and security deposit, and my family was homeless before we could even blink. So luckily, we did not have to live on the streets in tents, but we were couch surfing and living in hotels, and I was remembering that I had to tell my children, you're on vacation, we're gonna go stay at a hotel. We could afford that at the time, but it was one of the most stressful periods in my life, and I didn't even have the courage to talk about it because of the shame that I had, feeling like there was something that I didn't do correctly. And so it's so easy to cast judgment on people who are homeless. But when I did the point in time count last year, the people that I spoke to, when I knocked on tents and RVs and talked to the people who were living unsheltered, I found that the majority of people that were living on the streets that I talked to had experienced a medical injury or a retirement and couldn't afford the rents that we know in Oakland are still too high for the average working person, let alone a disabled individual or someone who just doesn't have the resources to maintain a lifestyle in the Bay Area. So the reason why this is so important is because often in the times that we're living in, we are wondering what we can do to help situations that seem way too big for us to get our arms around. And this is one of the ways that is so critical for volunteers to support, because just a few hours a day, a volunteer can contribute time that will lead to tangible resources for the city of Oakland. Resources that bring funds to create solutions, real solutions for our unsheltered population, to move them into housing, to move them into the care that they need to address the crisis that we see every day. So if you're wondering, like, what can I do to contribute to something so big, just take a few hours to volunteer. We still need a few hundred people to come out, and I'm gonna do my best to get every organization I volunteer with to come out. I'm volunteering personally, like I did last year and like I will continue to do until we eradicate homelessness in the city of Oakland. I believe that homelessness is a policy solution. I believe that it takes all sectors of government to come together to realize the solutions to this crisis. And I know that Oakland is one of the most resilient places with some of the most caring people in their city to do something. And this is one really easy way to contribute. So in this holiday season, where many of our friends and family are inside and warm, recovering from the holidays in whatever way you do that, just think about what it could be like to give up a little bit of time to do something that will make a major impact on our city. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Council Member. A lot of the work to organize the pit count in Oakland is done at the City of Oakland by the staff on our encampment management team. We have a lot of those folks standing up here with us. Could I ask them to raise their hand and we can give them a quick round of acknowledgement? We're grateful to have here speaking for that group today, Amari Collins McMurray.
Thank you, Sean. I want to reiterate what the Mayor Lee said. We need volunteers, the importance of the funding component to stand up our shelter programs. Our team is out here day in and day out dealing with the unhoused residents, trying to connect them to resources and shelter programs. So please go to oaklandca.gov/pit, sign up, come on out in January 22nd, 2026, and count with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Amari. That website, again, is oaklandca.gov/pit. The call today is for volunteers, and the city has absolutely foundationally, existentially important partners in that work who are helping lead what recruitment looks like, what volunteering looks like, and what this looks like from a community standpoint. We're grateful to have two of those groups standing with us today. From St. Mary's, we'll bring up Sharon Cornu to start.
Good morning. My name is Sharon Cornu. I'm Executive Director at St. Mary's Center and a steering committee member of the Nonprofit Alliance of Homelessness and Housing Providers of Alameda County. The point-in-time count is as important as the United States Census in providing a year-over-year benchmark about the number of people experiencing homelessness and the conditions that cause it. Like the census, it has a number of gaps, and we use relevant data from the Homelessness Management Information System, as well as the voices of people experiencing homelessness, to round out our understanding of where to deliver services, how to allocate resources. The point-in-time count is an important myth buster. In prior years, it has told us that 8 out of 10 people experiencing homelessness were last housed in the community where they are now unhoused. It has told us that 6 out of 10 people experiencing homelessness became unhoused for economic reasons, for the skyrocketing cost of housing, which we're all familiar with. Other sources of data show us that seniors 50 and older, homeless for the first time, are the fastest growing population. We're honored to be a site this year for the city of Oakland. And as we look to this year's count, we expect a harder count because of the displacement, sweeps, and criminalization that we've experienced. Our team at St. Mary's Center will be led by people with lived experience, and we look forward to continued partnership with the City of Oakland, its excellent human services team, Alameda County, and our partners in the Alliance to focus resources and use evidence-based practices and accurate analysis to bring people home. I'm joined by the president of our Council of Elders, Kay Wine.
Thank you, Sharon. Hello, everyone. My name is Kay Wine, and I'm a graduate of the 2012 Almost Home Winter Shelter at St. Mary's Center. And not only am I a client there who represents, I'm also the Council of Elders president at St. Mary's Center. Now, I am so honored and St. Mary's to be a part of this count that we're going to have at St. Mary's Center, the partnership up with the census. Now, I realize personally that I've been homeless, and I know what it's like to need help and not be able to get it because there's no funds for it to happen. So I'm here today to ensure that the Council of Elders and St. Mary's Center would definitely be a part of this count to get the correct count to make sure that we be a part of changing somebody's lives. My name is Kay Wine. This is Sharon Cornew, and thank you all very much for the privilege of your time. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we're also honored to be joined today by the East Oakland Collective, represented here by Candace Elder.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Candace Elder. I'm the founder and executive director of the East Oakland Collective. I'm humbled and excited to be here this morning, and I want to thank all the leadership behind me, in particular Mayor Barbara Lee, Councilmember Fife, and the city staff for their leadership in this very important effort that we embark on every year. The East Oakland Collective, we are a community-based organization in the heart of East Oakland on 78th and MacArthur. This is like our umpteenth time being a host organization for the point in time count and partnering with the City of Oakland. We may not always agree, but we definitely agree on the importance of this because this determines what the state and federal dollars that the city can apply for, and every person that we see on this crack of dawn on this particular morning, one day a year, is very important, and also helps bring awareness and visibility to people who are often ignored. We encourage those who are able to get up and with their families to volunteer for the point in time count on January 22nd. We have, at East Oakland Collective, we have tons and tons of volunteers, but particularly we stress this day, and we know it's very early, but you'll be surprised, you know, and a lot of us are wondering, how can we make a difference? How can we make impact? January 22nd is the day that you can help make impact and make sure that everyone, whether they're in a tent, whether they're in a pre-made structure, whether they're on a park bench, is counted and included, and that we have the as accurate as numbers as we can so that we know how many people are out there. So we know what immediate needs, what shelter needs, what long-term solutions, what permanent housing, transitional housing that we need. So once again, I can't say any more than St. Mary's Center did, and I want to thank St. Mary's Center for their work that they do in West Oakland and beyond, and East Oakland Collective. We are happy to join the fight.
Thank you so much, Ms. Elder. That website, one more time to sign up, is oaklandca.gov/PIT, P-I-T. And with that, we'll open it up to questions. KCBS.
Yes, good morning, Matt Bigler, KCBS. Maybe for the St. Mary's folks, you mentioned that this year's pit count could be more difficult because of recent sweeps and other factors. Could you speak more to that, what you're anticipating, and also, do you expect to use more formerly homeless individuals to help out the pit count? Will they be utilized? Again, two-part question.
Yeah, right here.
Over here, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. St. Mary's has an active council of elders, as you can see, and they will be part of the count and the deployment. Last time we had 200 or 300 volunteers in the room, including people with lived experience, including city employees, nonprofit employees, and volunteers from the neighborhood. So it will be a mixed group of concerned residents doing the outreach and finding folks. Our street outreach team, which goes out with senior ambassadors, seniors with lived experience of homelessness, reaching out to folks in the encampments, to connect them to services, to identify needs, to make sure that people have access to the support and services that they need to become housed. Our street outreach team has seen a more difficult time finding and connecting people since the grants past Supreme Court decision. And since that time, it has actually been harder for us to connect with people, to find them reliably. And because of that Supreme Court decision, it has been harder for us to connect people to the services and get them housed. Sorry for stumbling. Thank you.
Let me just add to that, and I'm looking, and we know that many factors cause homelessness. A couple of them, though, are the cost of living. Many people can't afford rent, and the cost of living here in Oakland and throughout Alameda County is still too high given the wages. And secondly, the wage gap. And secondly, anecdotally, and I'm interested in seeing this data, but I know that a large percentage of people who are unsheltered are working, and we forget about the working poor. And so this data is going to help us determine what the actual causes are in 2026, well, 2025, 2024, and really look at those variables in addition to others.
Thank you for the question. Any others from, we have from right up front.
I'm Tanay Roche from Basically News. I just wanted to know how many volunteers the city expects to need and how many have already registered and how that compares to the last time the count was conducted.
So Bay City News asking how many volunteers we're seeking and how that compares to past years. Amari? 500.
Amari Collins. We're seeking 500 volunteers. When you sign up, there's the option to sign up for 3 hubs. There's the East Oakland hub that will be, thank you, the East Oakland Collective will be hosting us as one hub, downtown Oakland, and then the West Oakland hub with St. Mary's as well. So they could pick any of those locations.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? I see one in the back.
You guys have been doing this for a long time. I think we all understand the importance of knowing how many homeless people are. Are there 1, 2, 3 data points that are really important that you guys will really hammer in on, and what those are and why they're so significant?
What are the sort of the 1, 2, or 3 most essential data points that we're seeking out of the count?
Yeah.
You want to take a stab at that?
Sure. Data points, we really try and focus on the HUD mandated questions, which we can share on the website, and it's part of the census count. Overall, there's going to be 30 or so questions, but of those questions, only a handful of those are required by HUD for the count.
Let me also say, I mentioned that over 50% are black. So there's an equity issue that we need to address and make the case that these systemic disparities are shown in our homeless population also.
And I want to just reiterate what Sharon Cornu from St. Mary's Center said as well. This is an opportunity to myth bust, because consistently we hear that because of all of the crackdowns in the Bay Area on homelessness, Oakland is going to see a flood of people from other cities coming into the city, and that's why we need more stringent rules about who can be here, how we address homelessness. But this count has told us over the years that even though people are saying all of these people are coming from the outside, they're coming from Portland, San Francisco, and all these other places, we can see that the majority of people that are living on the streets in Oakland have had zip codes in the previous year in the city of Oakland. So it kind of dispels the myth that we're getting flooded from people from all over the nation because Oakland is so lax on its homelessness rules. So I think it's an opportunity to get the data so we can identify what is factual and what is false.
Sharon would like to add something to that also, please.
To wrap up the three factors, as Mayor Lee indicated, of course, the demographics of race and age, household size, and income. The fact that someone in the household is working, right? And then blending that into our coordinated system of providing services so that we're able to focus on bringing people home, not simply moving them from location to location.
Fantastic, thank you for that. Great question, thank you for that. Any other questions from we'll come to you.
So it's Chen Wei with Singtown. So I have a question. It's like we see in San Francisco, they just like the mayor at San Francisco try to do more like shelter and mental surveys. But what will the solution? I mean, long-term solution like affordable housing. How about those like funding for affordable housing and long-term solution for those like unhousing folks?
So from Singtown, how are we thinking about longer-term solutions, including housing? Fantastic.
Well, as the mayor stated earlier, with the creation of this new Office of Homelessness, they've created a 5-point plan to address homelessness. And with Measure W dollars coming through, hopefully in the next few months, we will have an opportunity to create more of those solutions. And I will say that our housing department has been on fire when it comes to developing more affordable units in the city of Oakland. I'm so proud of the city for what we've been able to do when it comes to building more affordable housing. But we're not going to do that fast enough to deal with this crisis, and it is a priority of the city of Oakland. So we are looking at those long-term solutions for how to decrease this population. And we're going to need all hands on deck from the federal level, and we know how challenging that is right now. It feels like, well, I'm not gonna get into what's happening at the federal level, but we know we have partners at the county and the state of California to help us create those long-term pathways out of homelessness with affordable housing and a host of other measures. Thank you.
Let me just add to that. With our Office of Homelessness Solutions, prevention is a high priority. Preventing people from becoming unsheltered, which means rental assistance, which means support at that point that they could become unsheltered, preventing that. Secondly, rapid rehousing. All of the data historically has shown that once people are unhoused, we need to rapidly make sure that they are provided the shelter and the services as quickly as possible, because once you're unsheltered for X amount of days and weeks, that becomes home. And then it becomes more difficult because everyone wants a home, and that's a real issue with regard to why rapid rehousing is extremely important, because once you are home, then family comes, then encampments develop. And so people haven't really looked at, and we're looking at how we can make sure that we can ensure that people, once become unhoused, are rapidly rehoused so that it does not become home.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilmember. We'll take one last question. I think Ansar had his hand up, and then we will break for today.
Yeah, Mayor Lee, just to pivot a little bit, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we were looking at end-of-the-year data for crime in Oakland.
I'm sorry, Ansar, we will take that question, but we'll take it after we break the program up here. Thank you so much for raising it. We'll tackle it as soon as we break. Were there any other questions on the topic of the pit count today? Thank you all again for being here. We appreciate you and your help getting the word out into the community. We thank our staff and our leaders. We thank our partners. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe and dry.